Hey everyone, Chase Elleby and Joel Williams from Williams Elleby coming to you today with video number 23 in our series of 52 weeks of personal injury. And today we're going to talk about the 8 common myths of personal injury attorneys, which, I'm surprised there's only 8, but...
there's a lot more.
Right.
They don't want to watch us for the amount of time it would take to go through them all.
Exactly. All right, so what's the first myth we want to talk about?
Lawyers will sue for anything.
That's false.
False.
Right, 100%.
Yep.
I always say you can sue for anything, but good lawyers aren't going to sue for anything if there's not an actual claim to be made.
Yep. And the reason for that is that in most personal injury lawyers, they're going to be fronting their own money and advancing case expenses for your case. And who wants to put their own money into a frivolous case or a case that's not going to win? So any lawyer that's got any lick of sense is not going to sue for just anything. They're only going to bring claims that have a reasonable chance for success.
Right, and claims that have merit. So I think another myth that kind of segues into that is that lawyers take all the money. Right, at the end of the day, the lawyers are the only ones getting the money. That is definitely a myth, right? So it's all contingency. You probably see these big signs and big radio ads about doesn't cost you anything. That's all plaintiff's attorneys. It's all contingency based, meaning we don't get paid unless our clients get paid, and it's a percentage of the recovery. And the percentage varies on whether or not it's in suit, it's not in suit, if it's a medical malpractice case, depending on the type of case. So no, they do not get all the money, because if they got all the money, then we would never be in business.
Yeah, so. That's right. Number 3, lawyers chase ambulances.
With a name like Chase, wouldn't that be fitting if that were the case?
This guy might.
But it's not.
This guy doesn't. No, it's, that is, I'll put it this way. That is mostly false. Any reputable lawyer is not going to chase down cases. However, I do know that there are lawyers and then some non-lawyers that chase down cases and then try to sell those cases to lawyers.
Right.
We have met with people before who contacted our firm about an injury case, and it happens mostly with car wrecks. And then we set up a meeting and we don't hear from the person, they don't show up. We call them back and say, hey Johnny, where you at? Oh, I went to the emergency room and there was this lawyer there waiting on me. So,
right.
It does happen, but I don't think it's fair to assign that stigma to all
of course not.
Personal injury lawyers, because 99% of personal injury lawyers would never in a million years do something like that.
Right. Sort of as a side note, just kind of a warning, if an attorney is actually calling you, or someone saying their attorney is actually calling you to solicit a case, 1, that they can't do that, it's against the rules, and 2, you shouldn't want to go with that person anyhow.
You should
right? So
run as fast as possible the other way.
Exactly. So another myth, that all cases are worth $1 million.
False.
Right. I always tell my clients, you don't want that $1 million case, because if you have that $1 million case, you are very, very badly injured. Something terrible has happened to you, and something that's life-altering. So most cases are not, in fact, $1 million cases. And those billboards you see with those huge checks, that does not happen every day. And you don't want that to happen every day, because you are in a bad spot.
Yeah, the funny ones to me are like somebody will hold up like a $3 million check, or they'll say $3 million for a neck injury.
Right.
I'm like, what's that supposed to mean?
Right.
Like,
you got a sprained neck?
Or did you break your neck and
Right.
paralyzed?
Exactly.
I don't know. It's a neck injury. That can mean a million different things. So yeah, there's some neck injury cases worth $3 million. There's some neck injury cases that aren't worth $3,000.
Right.
So, all cases are not worth $1 million. Let's see. Myth number 5 is all injury cases. I'm sorry. Number 5. All personal injury lawyers try cases. That's
100% false.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of personal injury attorneys, or at least say they're personal injury attorneys, do not try cases. Some don't even put cases in suit, meaning some won't even file the complaint or do the litigation to get maximum value for the case. Right. Some will just settle right away, try to settle quick, early, and as fast as possible, because that's how their business model is set up. Again, I'm not, every different strokes for different folks, but if it were me and I had a case and I had a claim, I would want to hire a lawyer who would be willing to take it to trial, to appeals, if it needs to go that far.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll say this, just because they call themselves a trial lawyer doesn't mean they try cases.
That's true.
There are a lot of people that call themselves trial lawyers that are just, like Chase was saying, are just straight up settlement mills. And so just be careful about that. And if you do go to hire an attorney, just make sure that if they're calling themselves a trial lawyer, that they really are a trial lawyer.
Right.
Because the reverse is true as well. Like, if you're a trial lawyer, you can also settle cases. And matter of fact, you're probably better at settling cases because the insurance companies know that you're ready, willing, and able to take a case to trial.
Exactly.
If they don't offer a fair amount.
Exactly.
So, what's number 6?
Sixth myth is that lawyers are too expensive, right? Personal injury lawyers, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's usually false.
Usually false, that's what I was going to say too. I think with that is the myth would be that there's some sort of retainer or some sort of money up front that's required to hire a lawyer to pursue your case. Mm-hmm. And like I was saying earlier, that's mostly not the case. Sometimes you might have to sign, or you might sign an agreement where the contingency fee is just outrageous. That's why I think it's important that call their lawyers, right? See what their contingency fees are. But sometimes you get what you pay for, right? So lawyers that are more successful, that are going to be the ones that can go to trial, you typically might see that fee increase because there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of time and effort that goes into trial. So it's not too expensive, but sometimes it can be more expensive than others.
Yeah, you just have to be careful. If you run into somebody who's trying to charge you 45 or 50% for a simple car wreck case, they don't have your best interest in mind, right? Because they should not be charging that much. It may be a different story if it's a complicated medical malpractice case or a practice liability case where the lawyer is going to be putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars of his or her own money to get your case there, then it may justify that fee. But for a ordinary, regular car wreck type case, it should never be that expensive. So just be careful. And the reason that I said usually that's false is because if you do have a very small claim, where you get in a wreck, you get hurt, you go to urgent care, and you never go back to the doctor, is it really worth your time to hire a lawyer to recover $1,000? Probably not, because chances are that the insurance company is going to offer you something close to that anyway.
Right, so it's not worth the added cost. So.
Yeah. All right, what number are we on?
I think we're on number 7.
All right, number 7.
The myth, yeah.
This is a political hot button topic.
We'll be quick with this one.
No, let's jump right into it, man. No, lawyers drive business from the state. That is false.
Right.
And the reason that it's false is because it generated from a political discussion. You hear about lawyers running doctors out of the state, making malpractice premiums go up, blah, 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 blah. Any reputable business is going to have insurance.
Right.
Almost every case that I have ever handled, I have given the other side, the corporation or the individual, an opportunity to settle that case within their insurance limits. Because believe it or not, we're not about trying to force somebody into bankruptcy. We're not about trying to run a business into the ground. We're not about trying to take somebody's house. We are about trying to fully compensate our client. But if it's a business, they should have insurance, right, to cover any expectant losses that they may have.
Right.
And they pay premiums for it, and the insurance companies voluntarily take their premiums and provide this coverage to cover them in the event that something like this happens.
Right.
But what you see happening is you get these one-off cases that are somehow outside of the mold, and then a politician brings it up and tries to vilify somebody to increase their platform, and just sometimes trial lawyers are an easy target, but it is very rare and almost never happening where lawyers are just running a business out of the state.
Right.
Matter of fact, there's tons of really good trial lawyers in the state of Georgia, and Georgia routinely comes in as the #1 state to do business in the entire nation.
Yep, exactly.
All right, last one.
Last but not least is that my lawyer can solve my problems.
Well, that's probably true if he's your lawyer and you've hired him already.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that my lawyer can solve Chase's problem.
Right.
Because my lawyer may be helping me for an injury case, but Chase may be in a fight about a will, or Chase may need a transactional lawyer, a tax problem, or a criminal defense lawyer, or whatever it may be. But all lawyers cannot solve all problems.
Correct. You
Because-
specialize, right?
Exactly. We specialize just like doctors do, and you really do want to get a specialist in whatever area you need. So if you have a lawyer that has helped you before and they were really good, that lawyer may be able to help a friend or family member find a different lawyer that specializes in that field, but it might not necessarily be the best fit for your particular issue.
Yep, exactly. So I think that's it.
All right. Well, if we're wrapping it up,
Yeah. If we're
what are we
wrapping-
going to ask them to do?
Yeah, like, subscribe, and comment below if you have anything you want us to talk about or any comments about the video. And also be sure to tune in next week for week number 24.